Action.
All right, so here's the software side of our alarm shock blanket. So this is the alarm. We have on the LCD screen a clock and an alarm. Currently, we do not have a time running, so that is one of the developments we need to make. However, we do have functional buttons. So we have two buttons, a clock and alarm button. If the clock button is held, we can change the hours of the clock, the minutes, and the seconds. And the minutes and seconds will overflow back to zero and bump up the next step. So minutes overflow, hour goes up, seconds overflow, hour goes up. And to show that the alarm changes, we have this. However, the alarm does not have the overflow function so that you can more easily set your alarm. Now over to the actual code. Here we have all of our pins for the buttons and the LCD. And then we scroll down, we're setting these up. And then here's our logic. So if our clock button is pressed, then we check if each individual button is pressed. And then we repeat the logic for the alarm. Yeah, and that's all the logic we have. So we still need to add, again, that clock function. We'll use the millis and mostly millis, and then you'll have to set it yourself using like your own time, your local time. And now we'll go over to the mechanical design with Dawson.
All right, here's the hardware side of it. So our design will be powered by a phone charger plugged into a wall outlet. This would be then routed into a breadboard, which is then controlled by a transistor or a relay, we don't know yet, which is controlled by the Arduino. After the power is controlled by the Arduino, it'll flow into this DC to DC converter. And this has potentiometers that will allow us to switch the current and voltage to safe levels, but also effective levels. So after the current goes through the converter, it goes into the positive side of this contraption. And so here on this blanket, we have it overlaid with copper wire that will be carrying a charge. So the positive side runs parallel to the negative side the whole time. The thing is, they end here and they're not connected here, which means that it's an open circuit until someone's skin is laying on top of it. And that way, the shock will go through the person, deliver the shock, wake them up, instead of just shorting the circuit. So yeah, once the skin connects the circuit, it just goes back through here, goes back to ground. And yeah, so we have it currently on a towel. This would be good for like a twin size bed. We would have different sizes, obviously for different bed sizes. But this is what we're doing now, and this is our physical design. And yeah, and as far as development steps are going, we need to actually get our numbers right for the voltage and current. We need to get the wiring officially done so that the power goes through the breadboard. It's controlled by a transistor or a relay, and then goes to the blanket. And that's all we had to do.